Hello, this is Sandra Hart at Life Over 60, and I have made a list. I'm so glad to have you join me again today. I thought I would make a list. Everybody's making a list here on YouTube, and I haven't made my list. So I thought I would make a list. After all, once you reach my age, 80 plus, I certainly by now have a list of things, especially things that I am not going to buy anymore. I have had, I suppose, ever since I was maybe 12, all of those years of buying things, 70 years of buying things. So it's about time that I made a list of things that I don't need anymore and I am not going to buy anymore. So the first thing I'm going to start with is something that maybe some of you also have decided not to buy. When I was a young woman and when I lived in New York, stiletto heels were very popular. And I can remember with ease walking from West 38th Street, near 42nd Street on the west side, all the way up to where I lived on East 79th Street. But I would walk in stiletto heels. Now, I know that's over 2 miles, but I would walk probably not to work because I didn't want to be late, but on the way home, I would walk in stilettos for over 2.5 miles. I mean, when I look back on it now, it's a wonder I don't have a bunch of bunions and my toes all crooked and my feet out of joint. But I used to do that. Now, sadly, that's one thing I am not going to buy again. And I gave them all away except for one pair. High heels. I am not going to buy high heels anymore. But I just absolutely had to keep this pair of high heels because it's kind of like a boot. And I have worn them very carefully on occasion. But these are my Fendi, I think probably, they're snakeskin, but I don't know what type of snakeskin they are. But this is the only high heel shoe that I have in my arsenal of shoes. They're gone. Goodbye to all of that, and goodbye to my younger years when I could wear high heels. Now, I know some of you, this is not going to be on your list because you can wear high heels and you're really good at it, but not me. I think I would break a leg if I had to wear high heels all the time like I used to. All right, that's my number 1. Number 2, neutral colors. Now, it's not that I don't love them. I love neutral colors. But at my age, I already have a closet full of classic neutrals. And whatever I am going to buy now, because I'm down here in Florida, I'm going to buy boho and more colorful things. It seems that I am drawn at this point in my life, and maybe it's because of the climate that I'm living in, more colorful, feminine, and flowy clothes. I still love my classic, and I'm going to keep them. But in the near future, I don't see myself buying any more classic clothes because what I have is good forever. And you know, classic never goes out of style. 20 years later or 40 years later, I can still wear those classic neutral outfits. So that's number 2. Number 3 is next. Now, I have spoken about this before, is bags. I think I will have to have my head examined if I buy another bag. I just have so many. I've given a lot away. I have some designer bags that I'm keeping just because in case there's a special occasion I want to whip one out. But I am not going to buy any more bags. Remember the days when we used to buy a bag to match our outfit? If we had red shoes, and we would buy a red bag to go with the shoes. And that was so fashionable. And I can remember buying bags of all crazy colors because I wanted to match my shoes. Well, those matchy-matchy days are gone, I think maybe for all of us, no matter how young or old you are. The next thing is I am not going to buy any more one-season wonders, and that's trends. I just am not a trendy girl. I have years ago used to buy trends. I'd wear them for a season and then they would linger in my closet forever. I just am not going to buy trends anymore. Now, if that is your style, this is not going to be on your list. You're going to be excited every time a new trend comes out and you're going to run to the store and buy it. And that's okay. But this is my list. And for me, trends are not there, you know, because everybody, if you see a celebrity who's wearing something and all of a sudden the manufacturers are duping it and making it, and you go to the store and you find, 20 of them on the rack because Jessica Parker wore it. Well, that's not me. All right, I'm over that. I am not a trendy type of person, but that doesn't mean you don't have to be. Number 5 is also, personally, it's just for me, it doesn't have to be for you, short skirts. I am really done with short skirts. I just can't pull it off anymore. I don't have those gorgeous gams that a lot of people have. As a matter of fact, even though it's not for me, we had lunch the other day in a restaurant, and we were sitting next to a group of people, a table, and there was this one woman. She looked like Luann of the New York Housewives, if you ever watched that show. But tall, dark hair, she was tan. She really looked gorgeous. But she had on a romper dress. It was blue and white, and it came to her mid-thigh. But actually, she looks drop-dead gorgeous, and she was stunning in that short romper dress. And she must have been, I would say, maybe late 50s, early 60s. But she looked absolutely stunning. But on my list, it just doesn't go. At my age, I just absolutely can't pull it off. And it's probably the last thing that I would ever do is to wear a short skirt or even shorts, as a matter of fact. But that's because I don't feel that my legs are my best feature. The next thing, and this is something that I have loved ever since I was a teenager. I will never buy pajamas. Ever, ever, ever. Now, I know, and I have friends, and I know people who love pajamas. They live in their pajamas every day. They have all different colors and a whole closet full of great PJs. That is just not me. I'm a nightgown girl. I love feminine nightgowns. I do. Somehow I just like the air to circulate when I'm in bed, around me. So I am not a pajama person. But this may not be on your list. It just happens to be on my list that no more pajamas. The pajama manufacturers cannot count on me to be a consumer and to beef up their profit sales because it's just not my thing. Another thing is next. How long has it been since you bought a pair of pantyhose I mean, do they still make them? I don't know. I don't wear stockings anymore. I don't wear pantyhose. Never, ever, ever. Now, isn't it funny? Because I would drop dead before I would go out without stockings or a pantyhose. I mean, that just is what we all did. We would wear, a shapewear and put our, pantyhose on or stockings. That was what we all did. But how things have changed, and I don't think it's just because of my age. Well, it might be. But it's just much more comfortable to walk around with bare legs, isn't it? So that is one thing that you will never see me buying anymore. Number 8 is costume jewelry. And I'm only saying that because I'm 82. I have 3 jewelry cases full of costume jewelry that I love and I wear over and over again. But the jewelry that I have bought in maybe the last 15 years, if I buy anything, I buy something really good so that I can pass it on to my daughters and granddaughters. So I only buy, if I buy it, I only buy really good jewelry. And it's been quite a while since I've actually bought a beautiful piece of jewelry. I've been given jewelry, but I haven't really bought too much of that for myself. But when I do, I buy something that is good and valuable that I can pass on after I'm on another planet. Number 9, and it's because I almost killed myself wearing these flip-flops. I know I'm down here in South Beach, and if you look at everybody's feet, they either have flip-flops on or sneakers. But not for me. I tripped one time walking the dog on a crack in the sidewalk. I was propelled forward, and I missed hitting a tree by inches. I caught my balance, thanks heaven. But if I hadn't caught my balance, I would have smashed into the tree, and I probably wouldn't be here today. So I said, you know what? That's the last time I'm going to wear flip-flops. I have beautiful sandals that I love, but flip-flops are not for me. And do you know what I noticed? And this may sound like a funny. When I was wearing flip-flops all the time, and I would go to bed, and I would be watching something and, without the covers and looking at my feet sticking up at me in front of me, the space between my big toe and my next toe was really wide. It's as though all the flip-flops that I've been wearing all those years had actually separated my toes. It's like when the Chinese princesses, they would bind their feet so that they couldn't walk, and that meant that they were very privileged. Well, I had this humongous space between my big toe and my other toe. But now that I'm wearing flip-flops, not wearing flip-flops, flip-flops. The other day I was watching Netflix in bed, and, I didn't have the covers on me. It was so hot. And I was looking at my feet, and I thought, oh, you know what? That space is closing. So it's probably almost back to normal because I no longer am spreading those 2 toes by wearing flip-flops. Not that that's a big deal, but that's just something, maybe too much information you don't want to know. Anyway, all right. Now, the number 10 is that I try as much as I can is to not buy polyester because it really is plastic, and I don't want plastic on my body. Plus, natural fibers, cotton, linen, silk, hemp, all of those clothes that are made with those products, they wick away the moisture. They last forever, and I think they just look better. I really am trying to stay away from all the synthetic things. So I look at the labels, and I absolutely will not buy that anymore. But there is a little codicil to this. Once in a while, if there's a t-shirt and it's mostly cotton but has a little bit of polyester in it, I will buy it. Because t-shirts get stained, and you don't keep them that often anyway. So, and sometimes if it has a tiny little bit of polyester, it just fits you a little bit better. But that's the only thing. I really try, even in my t-shirts, I try to have the manufacturer have 100% cotton in my t-shirts. So there you have it. That is my 80-plus-year-old list of things that I'm not going to buy anymore. Some of it is because I already have enough. Others is because I just don't want to do it anymore. And so that's it. And I'm sure that you have a list, things that at your age you really don't buy anymore, and you're really happy with that list. If you can, just share it with me. Now, I know your list is going to be probably a lot different from mine because I'm a little wackadoodle sometimes about things, and I'm a lot older than many of you. But it would be interesting. I just love to hear what would be on your list. Thank you ever so much, and I appreciate all of your thoughts for Arthur. He's much better, still dizzy, but it seems to be he has on new medication, and we're crossing our fingers and hoping that this will be the answer for him. So thank you so much. Have a wonderful day today. Don't buy anything really that you don't want to buy. Be good to yourself today. Be kind to whomever crosses your path. And of course, let's all share the love. Thank you, and I hope to see you in my next video.